Words can't describe how much I love this DNA. Maybe it's partly because fall is right around the corner. You know, summer's winding down. Still have a good stretch to go here, and I'm happy about that. I love this time of year. I love the warm weather. But one thing that I do miss, and one thing that I do love the most about the cooler times of the year, is just the fragrances, and that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I really look forward to, because other than that, I am not a fan of the cold. And so usually right around this time, August, I'm shooting videos, I'm going through things, and I kind of start shifting focus and leaning towards some fall scents, start working them back into some videos, right? Because that time is coming up. People are going to start doing some shopping. And of course, another new clone has been released. It is Fragrance World Suits. And obviously, you guys know what this one's a clone of. I'm going to cover it today. I'm going to tell you how close it is to YSL Tuxedo, and also how close it is to Maison Alhambra the Tux. Obviously, you can tell presentation-wise, yeah, pretty close. And the caps, I believe, are exactly the same. At least it looks that way to me. Very, very much the same. Yeah, pretty much. Maybe not, but the collar on one might be a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. They're very identical, very close. Yeah, so Alhambra the Tux. I've done a video on this. This is a bizarre one. I think it's kind of wrapped up in some of the issues that they're having with some legal trouble, and I think it's being pulled. It'll pop up on discounters every now and then, and every time it does, I've sent out an email and a text. I highly recommend you get on those lists. This one popped up recently. It sold quick. This got moved out. So if you want this, get on those lists and stay tuned. But also, you know, if you can pick up a bottle of Suits, I think you'll discover here as we go on through the video that this is a fantastic option as well. So we'll dive into it. So how does it smell? Well, it has that patchouli, spicy, earthy, vanillic tone that YSL Tuxedo has. And I am telling you guys right now, if you have not smelled this DNA, please go out and do it, okay? The clones are affordable enough like this that you can just go out and blind buy it, okay? I would not recommend blind buying the real deal, because YSL Tuxedo is $250 or somewhere like that. Retail, you can't get it below. You can buy a sample of it. How much are you going to be paying for that sample? Probably a good healthy amount for not a lot. And that's where the clones come in. So I do recommend, if you're interested in trying this DNA, try to jump into one of the clones. Get one that's affordable, get one that's rated and recommended highly, and that'll be kind of a good way to sample it. Because if you like it, now you've got a full 100 mils that you can wear through of the clone. If you were to like the sample of Tuxedo, well, you spent that money on the sample, now you're going to buy something else. So this is a good place to start when we're talking these prices. This is that $30 range here for Suits, and it's one that, again, is pretty new, kind of just hit discounters here. And so this DNA to me is so unique, and that's why I get so excited about it. Of course, you know, there's clones of it now, quite a few, so you might hesitate to call it unique, but aside from the fact, it's the same thing as Aventus, right? There's so many clones of Aventus, people say, oh, it's not unique. That DNA, that particular DNA that was constructed, okay, is unique. It is different. There are many options for it now, but at the time, especially when it first came out, nothing like it. And it's the same here. Aside from brand straight up cloning the Tuxedo DNA, it is one of a kind. It really is something different. It's not like an aquatic that they can all run together. It's not like a blue scent where they all share a lot of similarities. Tuxedo does not really smell like any other patchouli scent or any other spicy scent or any other incense scent, right? All those words. It just does its own thing. And that's what I like so much about it. There's this really cool texture to it. I'm going to go ahead and spray it again. This is, you know, 30 bucks. It's not like I have to worry about wasting it. I would not be doing that with my real bottle. But it's so close to the original that I can sit here and break it down, and it's just the same as if I'm breaking down the actual thing. So you get a little bit of a nice spicy kick, kind of working off some of that creamy and earthy patchouli. You get a little bit of a smokiness here. Has this very, very kind of classy and elegant type of character. It's not something that smells really playful or young or anything like that. It's something that kind of exudes this elegance. This is the type of thing that would give you the confidence needed to go and do whatever it is that you may need to do that maybe gives you a little bit of stress or anxiety. Maybe you have a job interview. As long as you keep the sprays reasonable and you're not just being annoying, hit yourself with some of this. It's going to give you that boost because it is so different. No one else is going to be wearing it. And it just, again, it exudes this type of elegance and class and kind of luxe smell that I just don't really get from a lot of other DNAs. And, kind of going back to the beginning of the video, this is the embodiment of fall. Like, just smelling this aroma in the air, it reminds me of fall, and just smelling it right now, it makes me think that I'm going to go outside and, the leaves are going to be fall colors and everything's going to be just that time of year, right? Just smelling it brings me back to that time. I don't think there is a better season for this one than the season of autumn. And definitely I wear it into wintertime as well. Whenever it's cool out, I like to get this one in. Even spring, no problem. But it has that kind of autumnal smell to it, which is, again, why I like it so much. Very special scent. And again, going back to the real deal, yeah, it's expensive, okay? It does have great quality for sure. I have a bottle of it, by the way. It's right here. I'm not just kind of talking out of my butt. Like, it's here. I have it, I've worn it. I've decanted it out as well because that was the only way I could afford to buy it back when I bought it, is because, again, it's expensive. And again, it's amazing, guys. I love it. This real deal does have a magnetic cap, but look at these presentations side by side. They're just so close, so strikingly similar, even down to the bottom, like how the glass is kind of curved. I mean, it's almost identical. It is insane. The caps have the same texture. Crazy, okay? This is what I like about Fragrance World suits compared to something like Afnan Tarathi Brown, and even to some extent Rocus Mustachio de Parfum, is the bottle. Not only does it imitate the real one, but also it looks beautiful sitting on your shelf. It looks modern, it looks classy. This one in particular, the fact that it's called Suits, I think just seeing that font on the front looks very nice and definitely, does give off that type of feeling. Same with Tuxedo, same with the Tux, right? Similar deal with this one. If you can get yourself a bottle of this, very classy look sitting on your shelf for sure. And that's what I like about these compared to some of the other clones, is that you don't have to hide them. You don't have to be ashamed of them. You don't have to tuck them in the back where you'll forget about them and they'll collect dust. Like, these can be displayed and they fit in with everything else. And I only bring that up because I know some people don't like the clone presentation look, and personally I'm not the biggest fan of it either sometimes. So when it comes down to it, which clone should you buy? Well, let's look at the whole spectrum, okay? And this is off the top of my head. There's more out there, I am sure. Afnan Tarathi Brown, fantastic clone. I've covered it as well. It's about $40. The bottle is more clone looking. It's an Afnan, right? They usually kind of look that way. The scent does have amazing quality. It smells great, very similar, great performance. The only thing is the bottle is going to limit you. If you do not care about the bottle, that's a great option for you. Rocus Mustachio de Parfum, okay? That one's actually going to be the most different. I've talked about it before as being a tuxedo alternative, and it is, but it's not an exact clone like some of these others. So Tuxedo focuses a lot more on the vanilla and pink pepper and less on the patchouli, so it's more vanillic is the best way to put it. It still has that general DNA, but they have kind of moved the needle a little bit. That being said, it is still fantastic. It's a nice way to switch it up. Personally, I don't find any sort of redundancy in owning something like Mustache, EDP, and the other clones, right? Once you get to owning all of them, they would be redundant, of course. But Mustache versus, like, say, Suits, to me, it's not a big deal. Not too redundant because there are some differences. Now, when it comes down to a situation like this, there is redundancy for sure because the bottles are very similar. Both of them achieve a very similar look, and that which one you like better is totally personal preference. I like them both. Really, there's no, it doesn't matter at this point. I would say Suits looks cleaner because it's just Suits and Fragrance World. That looks more similar to the Tuxedo bottle. This one, I like the black part right here, but they do have their logo down here. It's a little bit more muddled. Again, doesn't matter. So get whichever one you can, okay? Now, the Tux is going to be worth a lot more money just because it's discontinued and it's going to be harder to find. As of right now, Suits is pretty easy to get. It's going to be the more affordable one and the easier one to get, probably. I just recommend you guys to make a decision. Don't overcomplicate it. Make a decision to get your hands on this DNA. I don't think you should start by blind buying the real one. That's a lot of money. Get one of the affordable clones and go from there. I think so many of you will love it. I'll link everything I can down below. And again, if you want to get on the mailing list and the texting list so you have first dibs and first access on stuff like the Tux and also Dior Homme Parfum, La Nuit Bleu Electrique, jump on them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.